Hi, friends. Let's see. If you're here and you can see me and hear me, maybe give me a little note in the chat just so I know that you can hear me. I'm going to type in here. I'm just popping on to test to see where in my house I get the best reception and if things are clear. Oh, great. Hi, Kanethia. I hope I said that correctly. Kanethia. I wanted to go live down in my sewing room with my iMac, but it was just, I did like a live test live and it wouldn't connect. So I think I have to set up like a LAN, like a cable direct, because I think once I close my door, I'm like blocking the Wi-Fi. I don't know. So I'm back upstairs in my dining room on the iPad. I think tomorrow I'm going to try to go live again to test. I would really love to do it downstairs in the sewing room on the iMac because I have all the stuff. I have the sewing machines and stuff down there, and it would just be a lot easier. Let me see if I can lower this so you can see the sewing machine. Sorry for being all up in your face. I wanted you guys to see another one of the sewing machines that is up for grabs. Let me see. All right, I got my phone here. Let me just say hi real quick to everyone. Let's see who's here. I have to say, I don't know how many of you are also content creators, but as people who put up YouTube videos, we get to see kind of a back end called YouTube Studio, and we get to see our analytics. And I tend not to look at that. I feel like, I'm here to just have some fun. I don't want to get caught all up in the numbers and all this kind of stuff. But every once in a while, I click around to find something and to see what's what. And, I saw I get a lot of watch hours. Like, you guys are really watching. And I'm always like, well, who are these people watching? So it's been really fun over this month with this giveaway, reading your comments and seeing your names and seeing who's been watching the channel and the videos. And I just want to say really quickly, I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all of you that just watch and never comment. I appreciate each and every one of you that comment and you hit the like button. Because I don't know, for me, I'm not like a shy person. You could probably tell in the videos, but it's so awkward to just be talking to the camera. You have no idea who's on the other end. And so I just want to say that really quickly. I've been the most sporadic YouTube poster on this channel. And every time I put a video up, you guys come out and support and watch. And so thank you. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to say a real quick hi to everyone that's in the house. But if you're on Team Replay, hello to you. This is just a test live because I'm trying to get myself ready for the actual real lives when I'm going to do the drawings. I'm going to do the live giveaway drawings. So I got to practice, make sure I have everything under control so we don't have too many hiccups. All right, so I'm going to get into the live chat on the phone real quick and just say hi to everyone. Hello, Kanethia. If I'm mispronouncing your name, you can spell it out phonetically. I like to pronounce people's names correctly, but I mess them up sometimes. But I just want to say hi to everyone. Hello, Kanethia G. Hello, Patricia Dennis. Hi, Alice Dolan. Nani Joya. I hope I said that right. Goya. Sean Williams. GT Junior Alaska. This is my gardening buddy, guys. He gardens in Alaska. Can you imagine? My favorite auntie lived in Alaska. She and her husband were in the military when I was a little kid. And she's still to this day my favorite auntie, Aunt Annie. And I can remember, she used to always send us stuff. She used to send us these big gifts. They would take forever to get there. She would always send us shoes from Sears in Alaska and stuff like that. And I can remember, we would set times for phone calls and we would all be sitting in the kitchen waiting for the phone to ring to hear from her and the family. But anyway, GT's my boy from the gardening side. Hey, GT, thanks for coming. Peaches C from Georgia. That's where my grandmama's from, Macon, Georgia. And my daughter goes to college in Georgia in Atlanta. Brenda S. Hey, Brenda. Lisa Acosta, hello. Debbie. Hey, Lady Cheryl. Lady Cheryl's another gardening friend. She's an amazing gardener over on her channel, but she does all kinds of stuff, but mainly a gardener. Waden, I've been reading your name. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Waden? Hello. I see here Rumby. Hey, Annette. Hello, one of my fabulous channel members. Annette signed up right away, and she's been such an amazing supporter. Hello. I hope you got your package, and I hope you liked your goodies. I see Mountain Accents. Hello. Alice, I don't know why your comment... YouTube is kind of strict sometimes with comments. There's a comment held for review, and I don't know why. But I'm going to show it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with your comment. Thank you, Alice. Alice is telling you guys to subscribe and like. You can subscribe and like if you want to. Hi, Anita. Hello. Yes, happy National Sewing Month. I hope you guys have been sewing like crazy, okay? I've been sewing like crazy. I was in a little bit of a sewing slump, like beginning of summer. Not slump, but it was so much going on. And I'm the kind of person, I don't like to have short spurts in my sewing room. Like when I go in there, I really want to have enough time to start and finish something. I don't want to do 30. It's like I'm just getting warmed up and I got to leave. And so I wasn't doing tons of stuff. And I don't know, partly because my son is gone to college now. I miss him so much. I don't even walk to that side of the house because he and my daughter's bedrooms are across from each other, and it's so sad back there. It's so sad back there. I'm gonna go in there this weekend and freshen up, and I'm I just look down the hall, I'm like, my babies. But anyway, yeah, this has been really keeping me occupied. And the basement was a space that he and I shared together because, with him being on virtual school, we actually set his gaming computer up downstairs so he wouldn't be distracted in his room. And so he and I, over the winter, we were in the basement together, all the time. So now when I go down to the basement, it's I always peek at his little desk and it's he's not there. It's so weird. But he seems really happy and to be having so much fun. All right, let me get back to the chat. I get easily distracted, which is why I need to practice also. I'm going to continue saying hi. I see Stephanie, hello. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's GST Mist. I guess your initials. T Walker, hello. Gilais, oh my goodness. Pronounce that out phonetically so I can say that correctly. Nails, hi. Hi. Do we have people from Florida? Yes, let us know in the chat where you guys are from. That would be great. Thanks, Anita. I missed that. Let me see. Oh, because T. Walker's from Florida. Hello. Taking a short break from sewing until the end of the month. That's okay. Sometimes you need a break, right? Minnesotan Heidi. Hey. Hello. I see Wanda Hobson here. Hey, Sharon, another fabulous channel member. I hope your package reached you safely, and I hope you like what I sent you. Wanda Hobson, I think I said from San Antonio, Texas. We love San Antonio. And my son's college roommate is from San Antonio. His dad is in the military down there. So, yeah, we got to meet them. Move-in weekend last weekend. It was nice. We still live in Houston, Texas, so San Antonio was an easy drive. That's where everybody who visited us, we took them to San Antonio. I see Evelyn. Hi. Thank you so much for watching the sewing and gardening channels. Taking a little bit of break from the gardening channel because it's a lot to manage 2 channels. And I always feel I want to do more, and then I get way too into it, and I have to be honest and recognize. I don't have time to make the kind of videos that I really want to make on both channels. So I need to like focus. So I'm excited to be over here, especially since we're going into the cold season and I'll be sewing a lot more anyway. But thank you for supporting both channels. I see Mountain Accents. Oh, you're sewing Helen's Closet. I don't think, did I make their pajama set? I may have made one pattern for them, but I haven't sewn a lot with Helen Closet's patterns, but I see a lot of sewists that do. I'm gonna have to order a couple patterns for them. But I'm excited that you're supporting Michelle with Sew Purple to Sew Purple to End Alzheimer's 2022 challenge. Brenda MC is in Ohio. Kenethia is in North Carolina. We got Evelyn in Dallas. That's where Lady Cheryl is. Lady Cheryl is in the Dallas area. New Jersey. I'm an East Coast girl. And so, hey, New Jersey. North Carolina. Oh, you cut out 3 patterns in Pennsylvania. That's awesome. Yeah. Jay Lee's Nails. Okay, thank you. All right, guys. So let's get into it. Thanks for putting France. Jaylee, you're in France? Je parle français. Oui, oui. I studied French in middle school, high school, and college. And I'm terrible at speaking it, but I'm really good at reading it. And I have 2 sewing YouTube channels that I watch that are in French just to keep my ear for French. I celebrated my 35th birthday in Paris. We lived in Germany at the time and we drove. I love all things French. I don't even know why. That's why I became a chemist. I wanted to be a parfumier. I was just like obsessed with all things French and French culture. I don't know why. It's like, I don't know where this like girl from Baltimore loving all things French. I don't know. But anyway, welcome. Très bon. Merci. So my mother-in-law, actually, she's a pretty famous musician in Germany. And she recorded tons of records with Maurice Andre, a very famous French trumpet player, maybe you know. Yes, they have a lot of records that they have recorded together. So she's very good in speaking French also because she had to play and speak with Maurice. But anyway, okay. Will you be doing any sew-alongs anytime soon? So Evelyn, I'm going to be going live the last week in September. I'm going to try to push myself to go live every day, even if it's just for like 30 minutes to an hour. But I want you guys to join me for my Sewcation the last week in September, okay? And so yes, I hope to do some like live sewing, sew-along kinds of things. And then yes, I have some old sew-alongs that I recorded. Honestly, the lighting was so bad in my sewing room. I'm like totally ashamed to put those out. And that's part of why I'm trying to practice to go live, because part of my Christmas gifts, my family I have all this like fancy lighting. I have, all kinds of tripods. I got an extra camera. I have all of this. I have these microphones that with the little swivel arm, because they were all excited that I was like really getting into YouTube and I had done some lives on the gardening channel, and I just, the effort to like set it all up and rearrange the sewing room, I wasn't here for it. But now I'm finally doing that. And so yes, I'm going to be going live in my sewing room and sewing with you guys. And yeah, hopefully you can join me. And then I'll definitely be putting out more sew-alongs because I'll be set up with better lighting and stuff. It's always hard to like edit a picture when edit a video when it's like the quality you want it to be. And I'm watching, it's like, how like we're always way harder on ourselves than anybody else would ever be. Many of you would probably be like, Sheree, it's fine. But it's like, I know it's not. And I know I could do better. So I'm going to try to do better. Love your top. I bought fabric like that at Joann's and didn't know what to do with it. Yes, this fabric is from Joann's. It's actually a dress. And oh my gosh, I made these a while ago. I made these. Speaking of France, we went on a vacation. We were in Italy with my in-laws, and then me, my husband, and our 2 kids did a little side trip to the south of France, to Marseille, to celebrate my husband's birthday. I think it was like his 45th birthday or something like that. And I knew it would be warm, and I knew we'd be walking around. And so it's just like a t-shirt dress. It's like I have to pull up the pattern. I shared it on Instagram like years ago when I first did it. I had to dig that up and put it on the community tab because they still sell that pattern, I know. But it's so easy. It's like a t-shirt dress. And I made it in like 4 or 5 different, knit fabrics. I love them. I love them. They're so comfortable. So yeah, it's just a t-shirt dress. But I'll try to remember to put that on my community tab. And yeah, I thought this was like it's a fun fabric. It's much, I feel like looking at the camera, it's not showing up as vibrant as it really is in real life. I think it's prettier in real life, but anyway, yeah. All right, so let me get into a couple things I want to share today. So I'm going to be signing up for StreamYard because I've been searching around trying to find like giveaway tools. And like I said, I want to do some live giveaways next week. So I'm going to sign up for StreamYard because they have a live giveaway tool that I can use. So I'll give you guys like a keyword or a hashtag to type in a certain time frame. And then when that happens, like it'll just automatically live pick someone's comment that put the right word in it, and you'll be like the winner instantly there. And that's where I'm going to be giving away some of the things that I showed, the book, those pre-cuts and stuff like that. So I wanted to get into practice first. This is just through YouTube, but I'm going to do a practice through StreamYard tomorrow when I sign up, because I want to make sure I give like everyone enough heads up and schedule in advance so you know to be here if you want to try to win something. And then during that first one, I don't know, maybe tomorrow during the practice or on Sunday when I do the first live giveaway, I'm going to also do the live drawing for the last 3 giveaways. So for the scissors, we'll choose the 2 people who will get the scissors. We'll choose the person who will, pick their 7 patterns. And I think I might give some of the extra patterns away too. I pull so many patterns that I'm going to part with. It's just a lot. And then we will pull the giveaway winner for the laminated cotton fabric. So all 3 of these giveaways have already ended. The laminated cotton one ended today at noon. So I'm going to go ahead, bite the bullet, sign up for Comment Picker, and draw those live instead of trying to record it and all that. We'll all see together who will win. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a winner, and then I'm going to pick like a backup person just in case that first person that wins never reach out to me. Because I've had that on the gardening channel where it's like people win stuff and then you announce that they won and then you never see them again. So and that way I won't be able to I won't have to go back and redo a draw, because I really want to get this stuff out to people as well. I want to show you guys real quick. I pulled up a couple things because I feel like you couldn't really see it that well. And I think I'll do another giveaway later in the month for the laminated cotton fabric. It's really hard to find fabric. Not a lot of people still have any. But this is a tote bag that I made during Vlogmas. And I love this thing. I use just cotton on the inside. It's reversible. And then I use the laminated cotton on the outside. And then I use the regular cotton trim there. But this is you see how flexible it is, even though it's laminated. That's what I love so much about this fabric. And then when you, it'll take on some wrinkles. You can iron it on the wrong side. Don't iron it without a protective cloth on the right side. But yeah, I love, love, love this fabric. So I definitely want to share some more of that with people. And then my favorite thing to make with this laminated cotton fabric are aprons. I don't have any more of this print, but look at how this is a kid's apron. So when they're in the garden or if they're painting and doing crafts, stuff won't stick to it. You just wipe it off. It keeps them dry. And I just used bias binding. I just made some to go to make the trims and stuff like that and the ties. So that's a fun thing to do. I mean, you can do that with any fabric, obviously, but I love it with the cotton, laminated cotton. This is just like a little girl's little half apron with that same fabric. But see how, like, you know, it's not like a stiff oilcloth. You know what I mean? So I love that. All right, I'm gonna check in the chat real quick. That's my problem with doing live chats. Like, I'm so nosy. I want to see like what y'all are saying, and then I get all distracted and off chat. But let me see here. Did I have any questions? Used to send us huge boxes of local apples from. See, you know, it's those things, right? Like that. Like, I'll never forget that she used to send us boxes from Alaska. I mean, that was just the coolest thing. And then to like talk on the phone with someone all the way in Alaska when we were in Baltimore as little kids. We just loved it. It was so cool. And my Aunt Annie is she's like the sweetest person on the planet. Everyone's saying happy National Sewing Month. Yes, happy National Sewing Month to all of you. We got Indiana in the house. Midwesterner, hello. I'm officially an East Coast person, but I've lived in the Midwest now for like, 12, 13 years, so. Hey, Sunflower Sammy, welcome to the chat. I hope you got your box I sent you, and I hope you love everything. Let me know. Debbie, hello. I never find fabric like that at Joann's. You know, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is old. I mean, I made this like, geez, well, my husband just turned 57, y'all. How old were the kids? It's about 8 or 10 years. I have to look back on my Instagram to see, but it's pretty old. But my Joann's, well, I have, you know, living in a big city, I mean, I have a lot of Joann's I could go to. Where I used to live, I had one. So I think that does play into it sometimes. I know sometimes Joann's have some of their prettier fabrics that I don't even see in my store online. And you can use your coupons and do like online free shipping. So that might be somewhere you want to check. But I feel like it depends on the size of the store. And I don't know if they just kind of like guess based on the demographic of like what people have bought in the past. I don't know. But I go here, I have 2 that are huge Joann's. And like all these latest prints that are like really so pretty, I got them at those locations. And so it does vary a lot. Yeah. Happy National Sewing Month to all of you. I see Fur Baby. Hey, nice to see you. Patricia Dennis. I don't think I said hi to you yet. Valerie from Toronto. Hey, nice to see you. What a great city. Toronto's a great city. Yes, Fur Baby. Exactly. They're great for me. And see, you're ahead of me because when I talk about the laminated fabric again, I was going to share with you guys these 2 patterns that I picked up. I'm going to start making some holiday gifts already. This is McCall's 8297. And this is a couple really cute like lunch bags. What I liked about this one is that it has different versions for making lunch bags or carriers for those mason jar meal in the bags. You see those? And then it also has the, you know, you don't really need a pattern for a napkin, but it does have that on there. So I thought that was a cute pattern. So I was going to share that with you guys over the weekend, but I'll share it now. Well, it's officially the weekend. McCall's 8297. I don't know if patterns are on sale or not. I didn't look at the flyer, but this lunch bag A would be a great one to sew up. I would use a laminated cotton fabric on the inside and the outside because then you can wipe the outside and the inside, right? And keep it kind of waterproof. This fabric is waterproof, but of course, if you have, you know, real like liquid spillage, I mean, you will get leaking like through your seams, right? Because as you sew, you punch holes. Let me see here. Hi from Master. Oh, let me show you this other pattern too real quick before I forget, since I'm showing you the patterns already. Here's another one that would be really cute for, using the laminated cotton fabric, any fabric really, but I think especially the laminated cotton fabric for cosmetic bags and things like that that you want to be able to wipe out. This is Simplicity 9525. And I like this one because it's encouraging you to like mix and match your fabric and do a little bit of like patchwork. So that's really cute. And here's the line drawings in the back if you want to see. So you get, you know, 2 shapes in 2 different sizes. So that's pretty cute. All right, so I shared those. Let me get to the chat real quick. Great for making lunch bags. Where did you purchase that fabric? And sorry if you have already said. The fabric for my dress is from Joann's, but it's old. It's like very old. If you're talking about the laminated cotton fabric, that's one of the fabrics. The fabrics that I sell in my shop, those are all purchased wholesale. So I purchase from various wholesale vendors. You know, they only sell wholesale. So I'm not sure which fabric you were talking about. And so here on my channel, like I'm starting to share a little bit of what I sell in my store. And that's all from wholesale vendors, different wholesale vendors. But then the, you know, obviously I talk about fabric from everywhere. So yeah, but the laminated fabric, that's stuff that I buy specifically for my shop, and I buy it wholesale and I sell it on my Etsy store. So yes, the laminate is really, it's fun, it's unique. They don't make it anymore. And so it's kind of a bummer. It was like something that they made, and I don't know if because it wasn't super popular, I haven't seen them remake that fabric at all. I have some that is also it's laminated a little bit differently that I imported from Holland actually, and I'll be adding that to the website. It has a very similar weight, but the lamination is not as shiny, but it's great for like, they're mostly little girls prints, but they're great for raincoats and stuff like that. But I'll share that before I put it up. Hi, Mary from North Carolina. That's where my mama and sister live. Oh, good sunflower, Sammy. I'm so glad it reached you. I'm so glad. Enjoy it. Evelyn, will you be doing any sew-alongs? Yes, I just mentioned that I will be doing some live sew-alongs during the last week of September during my sewcation. Next week, I'm going to be talking about the different machines that are going to be available for the grand prize winner to choose from. I have 4 different machines. So next week's videos, I'll be talking about the machines. I'll be unboxing them. I'll be sewing with them so we can all see firsthand like what they're like, and then I can tell you what I like and I don't like about them. Next week, I'll be doing demos of some of the other things I'm giving away, like the 32-piece presser foot set and the bias tape set. So those will be more just kind of like reviews of things. And then that last week in September will be sewing. So mark your calendar for that. And I will, you know, I'll try to schedule when I'm going live at least a day in advance so you can see it and turn on the notify me button so you don't miss it if you want to join in. But I'll put them up on, you know, the channel for replay also. Like if you can't make the live, you can watch the replay and see what we did. And I'll publish the live chat so you can read the chat and stuff like that. On StreamYard, it's kind of cool because I could invite people up. I mean, I'm not quite there yet. But I do think it would be kind of fun, especially for some of you that don't have sewing channels, if you want to pop up and share what you're working on. I have to figure that out. Talking about holiday sewing, this is from J. Lee's Nails. Prim actually has a sewing advent calendar. Did you get the Beyond the Pink Door one? I think that's just in Europe. I haven't heard about that in the US, but I don't know. You know, let us know. I made a couple lunch bags with the laminated cotton. Yes, and that ISO Bright is good too. Fur Baby, let me know in the comments. I made a couple things during Vlogmas with that ISO Bright, and then I went and I read the directions, and I'm so glad I did. But it said I couldn't put it in the dryer. Is that correct? I air dried it. Maybe because of the metal that's in there. I don't know. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I went because I wouldn't have even thought about it. It's like I made a pad for canning, to put my canning jars on so they can, like, you know, they don't hit something cold and crack. Yeah, and I went to wash that and I'm like, let me just read the paper. Let me know, how do you care for your lunch bags when you use that? McCall's patterns are now on sale until the 18th, according to Anita. Yeah, so if you want to pick up that lunch bag, I don't know. I just thought that was cute that they caught on to the trend of people. You know, a lot of people are doing the mason jar meal preps for lunch to do the salads and the soups, and then like their, you know, breakfast oatmeals and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was kind of a cute thing that they did there. And then Tony is saying, yeah, McCall's are on sale. Thank you for sharing that, guys. And then Tony, you're saying the laminated fabric again. Are you asking where I got the laminated fabric from? If so, I'll say one more time. I buy that from one of my wholesalers. And so it's not something that's like available to the public to buy. You have to be a wholesale fabric person to buy from them. But in addition to that, this is all out of print fabric. They actually don't even manufacture the laminated cotton fabrics anymore. I'm just putting in my Etsy store the rest that I have available. And maybe they'll come out with some more again. I don't know, but I haven't seen any. Let's see, Valerie, didn't know you had a store. How exciting. Any patterns there too? They will be coming. I have some books already in there. I had some patterns in there, but I have them deactivated for right now because I need to inventory some things. But I have a lot of like retired patterns from Amy Butler and a couple of the like fabric designers that put out patterns. And then I'll be using the store to actually clear out a lot of my excess patterns, and especially my vintage patterns. Because when I used to buy vintage patterns, I don't buy much now because it's like, to me, they're often like really overpriced. But decades ago, when I used to buy like a lot of the stuff I've had forever, I would always buy lots. So for those of you who want to go on eBay to look for vintage patterns, I'll tell you a couple keywords to put in to find like some deals. Because I have no business going over there anymore. So I'm gonna let y'all know the deets. So in the search box, what I would typically do, and a lot of the adult ones I ended up randomly because I was actually searching for a kid's vintage pattern. I used to use a lot of vintage patterns when I would sew for my own kids, and then when I was doing custom sewing and selling to shops. But they often would be sold in lots, and usually it was like, you know, an estate sale. So it would just be a mixture of patterns. And I mean, I would get like a box of patterns for what some people sell one pattern for now. Like some of the designer patterns that I showed you guys, like people are selling them for like $35 for one pattern. And yeah, they're vintage, they are collectible. And so, you know, if you really want to make something, certainly search for that. But I personally like to put in keywords like, so say here, I have another pile here to show you guys. So we'll go through it. And again, I'm just pulling these as I'm sorting them, and I'm pulling out ones that I know I want to keep. So this is one. I mean, look at this dress. Isn't that cute? This is Vogue 2128. And what I would do to find patterns like this is I would see up here it says Vogue Designer Originals. I would put in Vogue Original Designers Sewing Pattern Lot. I would put in the word lot because that means that they're going to sell multiple ones together, and usually you get a good deal. Now, often those go for bidding, and again, now they're much more collectible, so you'll find a lot, especially with like the designer and like the Paris collection. You do have a lot more collectors actually searching for those, and they will bid it up. But sometimes you get lucky. You know, look for things that end at like an odd time of day, and like people won't see it. And then a lot of times now on eBay, they have that option where you can make an offer. So if something goes up before, and so sellers can have it as a biddable auction. but they'll also give you the option to make an offer before a bid is placed. So that's another good way to score a deal. So there are a lot of people who are specifically like hunting down patterns and looking for ones that they can resell for $35, $25. But there's still a lot of people who just, they're clearing out the attic. You know, they got to clean out mama's sewing room or grandma's sewing room. And they're just trying to clear out stuff. And that's really where you can find things, you know, a little bit more reasonably priced. But I thought that was really cute. I'm just going to go through and show you guys on the screen real quick this little pile since we're here. See, this is helping me like get over my nerves of going live. This is also, I mean, look at that. I love this lavender. I love that length. This is Vogue 1983. I'm going to just do a quick flash in case any of you want to write these down to search for. This also, I mean, I would totally wear this. I mean, this is of today. This is Vogue 1963. Now, none of these are in my actual size, and so I'm gonna have to practice my grading skills. I've done a lot of grading, like in kids patterns. Haven't done a lot of grading with adult patterns. Look at this. This is so retro. Like, these outfits make me wish I worked in the office again. So, like, well, I never worked in the office, but, like, you know, out in the corporate world, man, I'd be styling out there. Look at this. I love everything about this. This is Vogue 2110. And see, these are the kind of ones that, like, right now, they'll go forever. Because you see this name? Pierre Balmain. And we know, you know, Balmain is like a very high-end French designer now. Well, he always has been. His clothes, I mean, you know, his jackets are thousands and thousands of dollars. So a lot of people who are like fashion collectors, they're buying these patterns just for like the cover. Like, they're not sewing. So to them, that's like art and collectibles. So they're paying like top dollar just to get the pattern. They don't even care what's inside. Something about this too, in this green, I just love, I don't know. I love this. This reminds me of something from that show, Designing Women. I used to love that show. This is Vogue 2318. Super cute. And then this got me. I'm like an old lady. I'm like an old lady dress spirit, I feel like, because I love all these retro, I don't know, it's something about the lines. Look at this. I think this top with this skirt is just so elegant and modern. I love it. And even the cape, you know, I'm the kind of person who would dream of wearing a cape, but I've never actually worn a cape. But I kind of want to make a cape. I want to make a cape. I want to pop the collar like her. And I just want to be a fly girl. I mean, I just think this is so cool. And did you see the name on this one? Givenchy. We know how expensive Givenchy is. Like, if Givenchy sold a cape, it would probably be like $5,000. And I have the pattern to make my own. So I don't know. I just love it. Here's another Balmain. I mean, look at that shirt dress. Look at the hat. And the gloves. This is like something I would have worn to church with my little gloves. This is Vogue 2827. This would be like youth day in church in the 90s. I got to go and speak in the pulpit, and so I had to wear a hat. And that, yeah, I said that was Balmain. And then this last one I'm going to show you, this is a vintage Christian Dior pattern. And look at that. I just think that is great. I don't know if it's because I was born in the 70s, but I just love all the lines and the styles of this. This is, let me read the number right because it's backwards. This is Vogue 2724. So what I'm thinking about doing, that's why I pulled these, I want to pick one of these patterns and just sew it. And I think I'm going to have you guys vote. and tell me which one I'm going to sew. And I'm just going to sew it as is. I'm not going to try and do any grading, but I just want to sew it and take you guys through, show you what the pattern instructions look like, show you what the pattern look like. We can see like what they claim the size is, and we'll sew it up and we'll measure it, and then we'll see like who does it really fit. And then I might have to give it away or donate it because it will clearly be too small for me. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. Would you want to vote and tell me which pattern to use to sew up? And we'll do it. We'll just do it all together. Yeah, maybe I'll just go live like one Saturday and just try to do from start to finish. I think that could be fun. Because I'm personally curious with some of these, as with the vintage patterns, as you go, like I have a whole collection of like 1930s, 1940s. They don't even have any markings on them. It's just tissue paper with like some little cuts and darts. And you have to look at the paper to see the shape to know what that pattern piece is. Like it doesn't say, piece 1, cut 3. It says nothing. So I have a lot of those kinds of patterns. And then it's like once you got into the late 50s, early 60s, they started really printing information on it. And then a lot of those patterns are single size. And then you get into the ones where it's like they're grouped in size, kind of like what we're used to, but much smaller range. So you might get 6, 8, 10, and then 12, 14, 16. But even within that, like the seam allowances, the hems, like a lot of the older patterns, when I used to sew for my daughter with the children's clothes, they would have a hem and a dress that's like 4 inches or like pants. Because back in that day, you would make the outfit for the child and then you would let the hem out as they grew, right? Because you weren't just like making a whole new wardrobe every year. So it's really kind of fun to see how things have changed. And then of course, like the amount of ease that goes in has changed. Where they're placing closures, most of the vintage patterns, that's the one thing that I always need to change about them is they often put closures in the back. Because back then, like you would typically have people helping you get dressed, and like as modern people, like I don't want to have to like call someone to zip up the back of my dress. So I like to have my closures in the front or like, invisible zippers on the side, stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be kind of fun to kind of walk through the history with you guys, I think, but you have to let me know if that's something you're interested in, okay? All right, I'm gonna come back to the comments real quick because I'm nosy. What y'all been talking about? That apron looks simple. Maybe I can make that on my journey to learn to sew. The apron is very simple. I actually have a pattern for that. I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret about me. I used to be a part of a TV show, y'all. I used to be a part of a sewing TV show that aired on PBS, and it was called It's So Easy. And the producer of the show, it was my first year. I went to Quilt Market. This is when we were living in Texas. And I had the intention of launching my own line of sewing and quilting patterns. So I had designed all this stuff. I had my booth. I sewed up all the samples. And then I actually worked with 3 other fabric companies where they sent me some of their fabrics. And I sewed up my patterns with their fabrics and they had them in their booth. And I went to Quilt Market and I took my orders, and literally like a week later, my husband came home and was like, I got offered a job here. What do you think? And like, we decided to move, and it just shut everything down, which is kind of sad, but maybe I'll do that one day. Maybe that'll be like something I'll start working on again. But anyway, at my booth, this producer came by and she loved my stuff and we were just talking, and then she just invited me to be a part of this new show that she was putting together. So I was a part of season 1. Did you used to watch that show? I see someone. You saw me and my daughter do the skirts. Yeah. I think I filmed it was either 4 or 6 episodes. I have all the DVDs downstairs, and they're online in different places. And so I think that's part of why I like overly critique my videos, is because I saw how the professionals do it. And I mean, they have like, there was a camera over my head, and, they can capture all these angles. And I would love to do that. But of course, as a solo person, I can't. But the perfectionist in me wants to do that, right? But that was so much fun. And so anyway, I flew out from Texas. That was like my first time leaving the kids and everything. I flew out really quickly from Texas. And for, I think, season 1, I did like two or three episodes. Yeah, I was on season 1 now. And one of the things that I did was teaching people how to sew, because the laminated cotton fabrics had just come out. And so I taught them how to sew with this fabric and how to use a Teflon foot and all that good stuff. But yeah, I have 6 different projects. And I think what I'm going to do, I think that's something I'm going to do this winter, because I mean, they own that, but like I own the copyright, right, to the designs. I think I'm going to redo all those patterns, and I'm going to PDF them, and I'm going to make them available to you guys, because with that one, I already have them PDF'd actually. Yeah. With that one, I have the kids' aprons like this, and then I have the adult ones. If you've seen me on my gardening channel with an apron on, that's the apron. I sell them, like, that's the apron. It's such an easy, beautiful apron to make. I had it in the slideshow at the end of that last video. I had a couple of the aprons. I have another Etsy store that's closed. That's where I saw my hanging. Y'all, I just don't be telling all the things, but yeah. And so my aprons are very popular. People love this laminated cotton fabric. But anyway, they're great for the garden. Like, that's my gardening apron. And I put pockets on them for people. I personally don't do pockets for myself, because I'm the kind of person that would put stuff in pockets and forget. Like, my phone would be in the pocket, and then I would take the apron off, and I would be running around for 3 days calling my phone, which I always keep on silent, so I would never hear it ringing, So I force myself not to put pockets in like utility things like that, because it always ends badly for me. But anyway, yeah. So it's so easy. And then another one, I have to share these patterns too, because I'm also a published author, y'all. I know. So I also have some patterns that were published in a couple magazines. One actually got put in one of those little booklets that they sell in Joann's for like sewing for kids. But yeah, there was like a new magazine that had come out. And so I have some projects and a couple issues there. And then there's a magazine called 101 Patchwork Projects. I think I have like 4 projects in there. I'll have to share that all in the video someday. Yeah, I do. But that was one thing I was like, I need to get those like printed up and share them with people. I need to share them with y'all. There's some really fun, easy projects to share. All right, let me get back to the chat. I already got I love Diane Keaton so much. Exactly. That's that style. That is that style. And I love that style so much. I love that style. Yeah, those are cool. Those are cool vintage patterns. Yeah, vintage. Listen, if any of you have like boxes of vintage patterns, you might want to go on eBay, check what they're selling for. I have some patterns that I looked and I'm like, oh my gosh, that pattern sells for $50. Now, I'm never selling mine, even if I never make it and can never fit it. But yeah. And then a lot of the older patterns, they go, like, I have a full collection of advanced patterns that are like out of copyright. Like, they are worth a lot of money, because you have, there are several companies who basically their whole business model is they've taken these like 1930s, 1940s, 1950s sewing patterns that are out of copyright, and they're doing reproductions of them. So they're copying them, they're adding colors, they're fixing the directions. I don't know if they're grading them to different sizes, I don't know. But the original designs are from, I've been on their websites and I'm like, I have that, I have that, I have that. They sell them for like $30 each, and they're just selling it over and over and over again as a PDF. Wonderful business model. Not anything that I have any interest in doing, but those are the kind of people that are on their selling and buying the patterns. So you think like if that's your business and you pay $50 for one pattern that doesn't have a copyright, but you can sell I don't know how many thousands of them for $30. It's a great thing to buy, right? And especially like I said, because the patterns as you get them, they're not printed. They can be really intimidating and difficult for like, beginner sewers to work with. But if someone takes the time to digitize them and to label everything and do all that, now it's like, oh, okay, I can make this, right? So that's who you're competing with when you're searching sometimes. So yeah, let me see here. Pete, hey, I recognize your name from, I'm trying to work my way through all the comments this weekend too, guys. Hang in there with me. I like to answer all the comments and then I get behind and it's like, which video should I start with? So, but I'm going to get that done. I did that one. Hi, Christy from Illinois. Hey, Abina, another member. You let me know you got your box. I'm glad you like your goodies. Air dried the lunch bags. Thank you for a baby. Okay. So yeah, guys, if you make anything with that Insul-Bright, that's like that insulating fabric, that's great for lining lunch bags. And like I said, I use it to interline my, I made some pads for when I'm canning pads. So when I take my jars out, I put them on that and it's not hitting something cold in the counter and it just helps them kind of cool down a little slower. But yeah, you can't put them in a dryer or rowing machine. My Renaissance Grandma, hey, that's one of my gardening channel friends. Pete is here. You're watching on a trolley in San Diego. That's somewhere I've never been, but we have good friends that live in San Diego. We have to get there someday. I hear it's like always the perfect temperature there. Fur babies in Florida, you dry them outside, okay. Yes, Sylvia, they can be expensive, but I'm telling you, if you really want to hunt for them, put in keywords like vintage pattern lot, vintage women's pattern lot. I sometimes I've gotten lots that are bigger sizes because it's like, I don't want to have to grade from a size 6. And I'll put in like vintage Vogue women's sewing pattern lot size 16 or 18, right? And there are people who are grouping patterns together in sizes. So if you want to start with a size 12 or size 14, you can do that. Just play around with your keywords and then look through those lots. And sometimes you'll get a lot where it's like you love 4 of the patterns and you don't like 4, but it's $10 for the lot. So, it's worth it. So that's how you have to kind of play around. That's what I do. Well, that's what I used to do. I really try to stay off of there now because, yeah, if I'm supposed to be getting rid of patterns, I really shouldn't be buying more of them. Sunflower Sammy, yes. And really, like, if grandma has old patterns, aunties, the lady at church, look through them. It's really, and especially the children's sewing patterns, there's so many are so, so sweet. Patricia wants me to do the cape, Abina. That cape is great, right? I think I should do that cape in Minnesota, I think I should do that cape. I'm gonna try to, I have never put up a community tab poll. I'm gonna try to put a poll up and I'm gonna let you guys vote. My friend found an old Ally McGraw pattern in a thrift store and the style is actually one that's popular again. Yeah, you'll see some similarities in some of the new patterns that are coming out for sure. The inspiration, like with all things, like, as a chemist, I was what was called an experimental inorganic chemist. So I was literally trying to make things that had never existed before, right? So like the patents for catalysts that I have and things like that, they are compounds that had previously not existed. But even in something like that, I had to rely on past literature to come up with that. And so it's in every aspect, right? Design, cooking, sewing, teaching, it all circles back around, right? And so I feel like as long as you put your own creative twist on it and you're not just like taking someone else's idea or intellectual property and just putting it off, like memes. I think that's why I don't like memes, because you see people, they have like totally screenshot someone else's thing and posted it on their thing, not giving any credit to where they saw it, and they'll like blow up and go viral, and it's like, that wasn't even yours. Like, I don't know. The original person in me doesn't like that. But it happens. But I think that's the nature of the world, right? I think memes really started that whole like, well, is it copying or is it inspiration? Because, you know, you put a picture online, you put something online, it's like, it's not really yours anymore. And so if you look at a pattern and you're like, oh, I want to make something like that, if you're originally drafting it, and it's not like you just took that thing and projected it and scanned it and slapped your name on it, I mean, it's not illegal, I guess. But I see a lot of, I definitely see a lot of similarities there. And again, in some ways, it's great because most people aren't going to have access to that old vintage pattern. Or if they do, they're going to pull out the pattern pieces and they're going to have no idea what to do with it, right? So yeah, there's always some. There's in the pattern making and sewing and even in fabric design. I mean, a lot of these fabrics that I sell, I literally, when the fabric came out, I'm like, I have that original vintage fabric, and it's like the fabric designer just took that print and recolored it. Sometimes they didn't even change the color, but it's printed on quilter's cotton now instead of the original feed sack. I used to collect feed sack fabrics. I have like a cute little vintage fabric stash. But it's like you would see that and I'm like, oh my God, like I have that original fabric. But again, they've changed it. There's like, I forget the percentage, but there's a certain amount of change you have to do to a design or something to not have it be like a copy. And some of the things, again, if copyright, what year was it? I think it's like 1963 or something. Before that, like, we didn't have a copyright law, so nothing was copywritten. And so that's all like fair game. So we have our vintage reproductions where people actually let you know this is a vintage reproduction bar cloth. Like I have some Tamus Keith fabric. I'm going to actually put some in the shop. And that's licensed through Michael Miller Fabrics because those are Tamus Keiths. He's a famous like 60s kind of modern. It was like modern for then. Designer and like an upholstery and stuff like that. He had a lot of these kind of bar cloth weight fabrics. And so Michael Miller licensed his artwork and they reprinted it, but you know, with the proper credit. And so I do like that, but I don't get too caught up in it. I mean, what are you gonna do? Anyway, see, I went off on a deep tangent, y'all. Sorry. All right, let me get back to the questions and I'm going to move on. The cape, good idea. I can see you a part of a TV show. You're a natural. Tanya, you know, it's funny because I think that's what the producer thought when she met me because I was just like, you know, I was so excited. I was so excited to be at Quilt Market. I had so many pattern designs and everybody was like, it looked, you know, part of it was like what I did looked totally different because back then, Quilt Market, people showed up with quilts or they showed up with clothing that was made with quilter's cotton. I showed up with my patterns with apparel fabric. And a lot of the fabric that I used, I had imported from Europe because I had a wholesaler hookup when I lived in Germany. So I was still ordering fabric from them. So my booth, I'm going to put a picture on the community tab so you can see. My booth looks so different from everybody else's because I wasn't there to sell fabric, right? And I didn't have my own fabric collection, but I took all these different fabrics and made this like cohesive story with it. And so I think she kind of liked that. And so I was there to chat it up. I mean, I was like in full like don't you love this? Because I'm an apparel sewer, right? It's like, don't you love this dress? And it was really the beginning of a lot of quilting companies then transitioning into fabric. Not into fabric, but into garment sewing. And my whole thing was, you sell a lot more fabric if someone's making a dress. And so it was like right at that time when things were kind of changing. And so there was just in general a lot of excitement at Quilt Market. When I got to the studio in Ohio, I was a nervous wreck. I mean, it was so hot in there. There were like so many lights. They tell you, they give you like a little prep when you're there, but that was it. Like I'd never done anything like this before in my life. And so one thing that I do try to incorporate now when I edit my videos, it like came back to me, so that has been helpful. It's like when you make a mistake, if you're a content creator and you want to try this, do it. If you're making a mistake when you're sewing, just stop. Pause. And then repeat yourself. And then you get like a nice clean clip. So it was like one thing that kind of stayed in my head. And they were always giving me like, stop. Because, if I made a mistake, I would be like, oh, and they're like, nope, don't do that. Just stop. If you make a mistake, just stop. And then restart. Because I would be like, oh my God, I made a mistake. Can we rewind? I'm like, there's no rewinding here. Just stop and keep going. And so, but yeah, it was really fun. A lot of people, a lot of recording. It's completely unscripted, just completely on the fly, a whole lot of fun. So I think I was nervous when I started YouTube because it was like I had seen that. And to be quite honest, like the last decade, I've been like living very differently, right? Like I wasn't like all out. I became like dance mom, robotics mom. Like I was just working with kids and behind the scenes and not really like in front of anything. So it took me a little while to like feel comfortable. Again, not that I'm shy, like I'm totally not a shy person. But it just took me a while to not feel awkward. I still feel awkward. I feel awkward right now. Anyway, let's just keep going. Patricia watched this show. You saw the one with me and my daughter. My daughter is now 21 years old and a senior in college. And she was so excited to do that. And she always loved to sew, but she likes to sew by hand. Like, it's so funny. My son loves the sewing machine. And she is like a needle and thread girl. She likes to sit and do like needle and thread. It's really funny. I used to love that show. Yes, Sewing with Nancy. I got to meet her at Quilt Market. She actually is someone else who she saw my clothes in my booth and she was like, oh my God, I love this for my granddaughter. What a woman. What a career. And to be honest with you, I mean, she was really like the groundbreaker for sewing TV shows. I mean, I have all her books. Just a great, great lady. I was really sad when, she had her stroke. But I mean, even through that, right, she kept filming. That's the kind of thing I think about. And it's like, stop being silly. Just record. I mean, she kept filming even when she was like partially paralyzed and like in her face. Remarkable woman. Remarkable woman. Yeah. So, yes, GT Jr. I was a part of a TV show on PBS. I got all kinds of secrets. Yeah. Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun. Annette, talented. I don't know about that. I'm a little crazy. Like, I'll try anything. And I do. I like to do all the things. I'm that kind of person who obnoxiously thinks that I can do anything. Like, I could build a cabinet. No, I can't. But I'm gonna try. Well, at minimum, I'm gonna buy all the things that I need to build the cabinet. I will definitely get that far. And then I'll call my husband. No. I do want to build some furniture though. My husband has built me some planters and stuff like that. When I was in middle school, woodworking was my favorite class. It was the only non-science math class that I was like in a excuse me, I don't want to say special like it was like special, but that was during a time when like, you know, it was very typical, especially for inner city schools, um, where they would kind of separate tracks. So like my middle school, there was like, you know, regular, I guess you would say like regular education. And then there was like accelerated, they called it gifted and talented, but that always sounds weird to me. So like we couldn't, like we didn't have any time in our schedule to do like the typical home ec and all that kind of stuff that people got to do. And so the one class that we got to take was woodworking. And I love that class. And I made a lamp, I made a wooden lamp, and I made picture frames. And I think that was like my first taste of like real like making outside of sewing. But really the only thing I really did for a long time was sewing. But yeah, I think it would be cool to make some furniture. I've seen people on Instagram where like made their own dining room table and they're absolutely stunning. Yeah, Sylvia, I don't know. I thank you guys for the compliments, but I think that like God instills just like wants inside of all of us, right? And I think the difference sometimes I'll have people that say, how do you do all the that? I think for me, just as a kid, I never had a fear of trying different things. Like I was just always like, oh, why not? Now, you know, I burst my nose open when I was a kid and had to have surgery, and you know, I fell in like a little well thing because I was doing something I probably had business doing, and they like had to get the emergency people to come get me out. I mean, I, you know, didn't always end well, but I didn't have a lot of fear of like just trying different things. Yeah, so that definitely does help with like quote unquote being good at a lot of things. I try a lot of things and I try to master. If I like it, I'm gonna try to master it. But there are a lot of things that like you would, you know, things that a lot of people think are easy, and it's just like, ooh, no, can't do that. Diane's in Florida. Thank you, Diane. I love you supporting me on my sewing and my gardening channel. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Sylvia's from Whitman, Arizona. We got Life's Banquet from Georgia. Remember when we had to notate, sort? Yes. And see, I'm old school like that, Sunflower Sammy. And I think also as a scientist, like, oh, you would be run out of your career if you did not cite your source. And so it's funny. I'll do a full disclosure. That's part of why I struggle with like making the kind of videos that I really wanted to make for my gardening channel, because some of the more detailed stuff that I would want to share, it's like, but I need to cite my source. And sometimes I don't remember the source because it was like, you know, I was just flipping through and I didn't make note of it. And then I feel like it's inappropriate for me to say that or talk about that. And I haven't actually done it myself. It's because I read it from someone else. And I don't know. I overthink, I know. Because I see people, they're on there, they just Google search and just say all kinds of things and you have no idea what the source is. It's like just the nature of the world right now, right? It's like everybody can share everything they've read, whether it's true or not. And so I don't know. Some things are just, you know, it's like, you know, if you had a certain upbringing and you had to finish your plate, well, you're always going to finish your plate. And so, you know, as someone who was in science, like from middle school through graduate school and then worked as an industrial chemist, I mean, I can remember, you know, when I would write up papers, I mean, it would have to go through like a review process at these different journals that could take 6 months. Because they're checking your references and they're, you know, they want to make sure you didn't copy anybody and all those things. It's just a little bit different. I think, especially with internet and art, there's certain things that I think people don't feel like have a right to like being proprietary. Is that the right way to say it? And so sometimes I think I get hung up on it when it's like nobody really cares if you didn't cite your source. Just tell them, But I'm also like a book person, so then I want to like put in the book quotes and do all, and it's just like I don't have time. Anyway, 85th and Wade, hello. It's great to see you. You met Nancy Z and got a photo with her. I should have taken a picture. I don't think I did. Y'all, back then, that was like in what, 2007? I did have a cell phone, but it was like a flip phone. So I didn't take any pictures. I was like one of those people, I was like hardcore anti-cell phones. I was anti-Amazon. Like, I didn't want any parts of any of this stuff. It's gonna ruin society. And then at some point it's like, you're gonna get left behind if you don't do it. So yeah, I was on flip phone, and my friends were like, girl, you're the only one not in the text chain. I'm like, what's the text chain? But I'm like, I embrace all the technology now. I'm like a total gadget person. Wanda, do you have a time limit on live chats? I don't know. I think I'll get cut off when my phone dies on my iPad. Let me see. Slow Sewing Mama. Hi, nice to see you from Florida. A sewing podcast. You know, it's funny you would say that because I recently started watching some knitting podcasts, which really they're videos. So I'm like, why are they calling them a podcast? It's like, it's a video. You'll have to educate me about a podcast. Don't they have videos on YouTube? We might be able to learn from your TV days. They do. They put them up there. I'm not ready to share the links yet. Yes, they're all on the interwebs. And I've actually met a couple people out in real life, and they're like, you're that girl from, like, oh my God, you saw that? It's so funny. Fur baby, I learned sewing in home ec 8th grade. See, I started teaching myself at that time because I couldn't. My sister, who was a year older than me, she got to take home ec because she was like in the regular curriculum at our school. And I was so envious. She came home with these things, and I'm like, what do you mean you made that? Like, I've been asking for a sewing machine since I was like 6, and she's rolling in here with like her little homemade stuff. And it was so funny. She didn't love it. I mean, she had to do it because it was class. But that was the summer when I actually got my sewing machine. I think I told this story in the video. And I literally used to, I would get my homework done, and then I would sew. And I would decide, I want to have an orange pantsuit to wear to school tomorrow. And I would cut it out, and I would sew it, and I would wear it to school the next day. Like, it was crazy. I mean, I would have like a new outfit on every day of the week because I would just be there sewing. And then I would have friends who would want to like borrow my clothes. And it's like, no. Like, this is a Sheree original. You're not wearing this. Yeah. Vanessa Jones, hi, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. We have Debbie joining. I love We're Working Too. Yeah, it's something about it. It's something about it. The other thing I really like, I had to do, as a chemist, but nothing really fabulous, but I did have to like officially get trained to do glass blowing. And, I don't know how to do like the artsy glass blowing. I mean, we had to do it for our tubes for the NMR machine. And for sealing things and stuff like that. And, sometimes you have to fuse things for doing vacuum distillations and stuff. But I visited like workshops, like when I lived in Michigan at the Henry Ford Museum. They have like an actual old school metalsmithing workshop, and they have the original like old glass blowing. If you're ever in the Detroit area and you can go to the Henry Ford Museum, go. Oh my gosh, we always had a membership, and like the schools would always go. We went there because there's so much to see. It's so much to see. They do where you do like the brass candle and you make your own like drip candle. It's so much. But to stand in there and see them do the glass blowing and like taking like a rod of glass and turning it into a flower or a bird, oh my gosh, I love stuff like that. So anyway, my husband calls me inspirational thinker when I come up with my ideas. Yes. My husband's always like, how do you come up with all these things? Like, I don't know. They're just like in my head. If only I had 30 hands and like, 5 clones, I could get it all done. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Yes, I remember, I think she ended up ultimately passing from cancer, right? For a baby. She was just, I mean, what? She's up there with like Martha in the craft world, right? You think about like all her books, all her TV shows, all the amazing people that she exposed us to on her show, right? I mean, yeah. Anyway, let me get back to the couple more things I want to share with you guys, and then I'm going to go because clearly this live stream is working. I know I can do it on my iPad. It took me a while to remember even how to set it up, y'all. Oh my gosh. Because like I said, I did it a couple times on the gardening show, on the gardening channel, and it's like I couldn't remember how to set it up for the life of me. Oh my gosh. Hi, Jean. I told my husband if I ever go to Jumper. Listen, I've taken my sewing machine on vacation. When I was in college, I mean, it was in my dorm room. When I was in graduate school, I rented a 2-bedroom apartment because I had to have a sewing room. And every summer when I would do my summer internships, my sewing machine went with me. People thought I was crazy. It was just like my sewing machine was literally my best friend for like a really long time. Like, oh my gosh, I love her. I still have that sewing machine. I'll never get rid of that sewing machine. I'll never get rid of my first serge. My now husband actually bought it for me when we were dating in graduate school. I used to always complain. I would buy these really nice wool fabrics and I would make jackets. I actually pulled some out. I'm gonna have to show you guys some. I pulled some out of the closet. I've been like purging my closet and I pulled out some things that I made like in the 90s. And there's this orange suit. This orange is a dress and a jacket, a short sleeve jacket with like gold buttons that I made. And yeah, all kinds of stuff I pulled out. I would have to pull a gorgeous purple suit with this like little like scallopy neckline with, I love gold buttons. Y'all know, if y'all were in the 90s, you know, gold buttons, it was like, that's how your suit looked expensive. It was so funny. I'm like, oh my God, these are so bright and cheesy looking. But anyway, I want to share a couple things with you guys before I go. First thing I want to show you guys, fall. I know a lot of us are thinking about fall, and I want to share with you, I think I'm going to save this one for the end, because this was like, I can't believe, okay, let me just show you. I think I showed you guys this one. This is going to be my first round of fall sewing. I need more like long sleeve ankle, not ankle, my ankle is on my feet. Wrist length, bracelet length blouses, you know, as the weather gets cold. I'm like a sweater person, so I wear short sleeves with a sweater, but I want to have more tops that are like, you know, that I don't have to put a sweater on for that transition. So I'm going to be sewing up Butterick 6895, and I'm probably just going to use Quilter's Cottons for most of these. I found this one here, which I think also, I like Sleeve B. This is a unisex pattern. This is a Palmer Pletch for Butterick. This is Butterick 6846. I plan on making this view here. What is that, B? With the short sleeves. And I might do a long sleeve one, or I might just lengthen the sleeve of B a little bit. You know, have it come down at like bracelet length. I thought that would be cute. This is that length I'm looking for. See this view right here. And I would probably like make a little like gather here so that it cinches in at the waist. I don't like those loose sleeves. You know, you guys ever do that? You walk past something and like your sleeve gets caught? Oh my gosh, that happens to me all the time. I can't stand that. Then of course the long sleeve one. This is Butterick 6898. So I snagged this, and let me see, it's gonna be hard to see, but see how it's a little bit more fitted in the back. That's what I liked about them. It's not a super boxy you know, shirt, button front shirt. It has that piecing in there. It's gonna give, you know, for us women, like a little bit more feminine touch to it. Definitely gonna be making this again. I showed this to you guys. I'm gonna make that camisole view A to wear under sweaters, but I'm also gonna make the long sleeve view down here. I pulled some fabrics already for these, but this is the one. I wanted to share this with you guys. Some of you may have seen it. I've never seen this pattern before, so I'm assuming that it's new this year. But look at this new look pattern. Look at the blouse. Look at view A. I thought that was really fun. It kind of reminds me of Fiber Mood. This is new look 6732. I'm definitely gonna be making that. It looks like it has like a little lacy inlet thing on the back and a tie. I'm not sure. Haven't opened it up yet. Let me know in the chat if have you guys seen this yet? I think that could be fun. And a cotton wall. I'm gonna go to Joann's tomorrow because I got in the mail a coupon for an extra, it's either 20 or 25% off my order for regular price and sale items. In that one big Joann's that I told you guys I go to for like the good prints, they have Liberty of fabrics in there. They have like 35 prints. And I saw it the last time I was there, but it wasn't like on sale or anything. And I'm like, you know, they're like, I don't know, like $50, $60 a yard. And I'm like, even if they're not on sale, I don't know if they're that much, but you guys know, they're expensive. But I'm like, I'm gonna use that coupon because I think they're on sale and I get to use the coupon to go with it. So yeah, I think that's what I'm getting. I think that's gonna be great. You know, for the new look, I'm gonna pull this out and I'll measure it. I find that some of the new look ones, like, I mean, nothing ever matches with what it says on the back of the pattern. So like the finished bust for the largest size here is 46.5 inches. I'm gonna pull it out and measure it and I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know like how big this really goes. Yeah, because with all the shaping, it may not be that easy to like grade up if you size out of this pattern. And I don't think New Look doesn't do extended sizing, do they? I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was super cute. And then I'm gonna show you guys really quickly and I'm gonna come back to the chat. It won't work on the Liberty prints? Okay, yeah, the fine print. I feel like even if it's on sale, 25% off, I think I'm gonna treat myself to like one. I mean, I saw like 10 prints that I just loved. And I have some Liberty of London fabrics in my collection, but it was like when they used to sell for like $25, $30 a yard. And then I had gotten them on sale at fabric.com. Fabric.com used to carry them. And I feel like now the prices increase. I know in general, even from me buying wholesale, the prices have increased quite a bit, like almost $2 a yard wholesale. So yeah, I mean, I know that cotton is more expensive, cotton yields are lower, we're paying more for imports, we're paying more for shipping, all those kinds of things get transferred, right? But anyway, I wanted to show you guys one more sewing machine that's in the, yes, you're right, Art Gallery is a great substitute. I have a lot of those in my stash, and I'm actually gonna start selling them in my shop. Yeah, love them. They actually premiered at the same quilt market that I premiered at, where I went. That was their first year at quilt market. So I actually have some of their original bundles of prints. They did these kind of like sample prints with their first run, like as samples before they actually printed them. So I think some of them didn't even actually get printed, but their fabric from the beginning, their fabric base that they use is so different from all the other people in the industry. Is just gorgeous. I love them. And they do great prints, you know, with like Barry J. I mean, her whole aesthetic with those like collage kind of florals, wow, they're beautiful. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys one of the other sewing machines that's gonna be a part of the giveaway. Oh my God, this is Brother, what does this say? This is a Brother ST371HD. So this is going to be one of the machines. We're going to be unboxing this next week, testing it out. Some of the things I'm going to be looking for is like, how heavy is the machine? How thick a fabric can I sew through? Is it shaking on the table when I'm sewing? Right? Like, oh my gosh. And, you know, the quality of beginner sewing machines, you know, it's gone down quite a bit. I mean, my beginner sewing machine was so heavy. It was all steel, right? No, like the outside, even that kind of plastic that they used was harder. And so, yeah, we're going to test out some beginner sewing machines and kind of rate and rank them. And then that way, when the winner is drawn, they will be able to look at these videos and see which one would be the best one for them. And don't be shy about entering. I know some people, I got a couple emails from people who said like, I already have a sewing machine, can I still enter? You can enter. I'll be honest with you, one of these sewing machines, all the sewing machines, you're gonna get a brand new one. A couple of them are gonna be donated. I'm gonna tell you about that project. I'm gonna be donating them to this new project I'm working on with my friend. But one of them I'm going to be keeping because I wanna have just a good, basic, solid sewing machine to sew the kind of things that I don't dare sew on my really good sewing machine and like mess up the timing. So like, I have some garden stuff that I want to sew up. I'm not gonna use my good sewing machine. Someone asked me a question, I'll answer it, but I'm a Juki person. My sewing machine, my main serger are Jukis. And I switched to Juki a couple years ago, and when I got my fabric store, I really like them for apparel sewing. And then my quilting machine is the Quilting Queen by Elna, which is like a daughter company of Husqvarna, pretty sure. But one day I'll do like a sewing room tour and share all that stuff with you guys. But anyway, I'm excited to dig into these sewing machines. I used to have all brothers in my store for people to sew on, like pretty basic brother sewing machines. But yeah, I'm testing out some different brands with this go around, okay? All right, so that is really all. Oh, I have a giveaway. I'm gonna catch up in the comments and I'm gonna do the giveaway. I almost forgot. I have a giveaway for y'all. So you're going to have to comment in the chat. So if you're one of the 71 people sitting and not chatting, you're going to have to comment, which is fine. I do that all the time in live chats. I like to have people's lives running in the background when I'm doing things. I'm not like a live chatty person a lot of times because in order for me to justify like being in that chat for 2 hours, I have to be getting something else done. And so it's not to like disparage anyone who's not chatting. I'm just letting you know that the giveaway will be run through a comment in the live chat, okay? And some of you, I know the first time that I went into live chats, I didn't know that there was like a live chat thing to hit. Like I thought it was just the comments. So I was one of those people who I would comment, but I didn't know I could go into the live chat and comment. So if you're new to live chatting, there's a button that says live chat, hit that, and it'll open up the box so you're not just watching, you're also in the live chat. And then if you go over, you'll see like an X, and then next to it, you'll see like some arrows going in different ways. If you click that, you'll see top chat, and then you'll see live chat. Make sure you're on live chat messaging because that's gonna show like the most recent chat. And that's what I'm going to be looking at to decide the winner of the giveaway. So your live chat, like if you came into the live a little bit behind me, it might be off, okay? So anyway, I'm going to catch up on the comments and then we're going to do the giveaway. So let me scroll back real quick. Jean Rogers. Oh, you're in Orlando. I mean, who doesn't love Orlando? My first good sewing machine was actually the Disney Brothers sewing machine because I wanted to have, my daughter loved Minnie Mouse, and I wanted to have all the embroidery designs for Mickey and Minnie, and I still have that. I'll never get rid of it. Yeah. Sandra is watching from New Jersey. Hi, Sandra Brown. Marilyn Acevedo. I don't think I would ever be brave enough to sew during vacation. Oh, no. I mean, it depends on the kind of vacation, but we used to do, especially when the kids were little, we used to do like rent a cabin kind of vacations up at like Laughlin Lake and stuff like that. So it really was just kind of like chill time. The kids were little, we would go out, do cross country skiing or ice skating. They'd be exhausted. And it actually was really kind of cozy to sew in the cabin. Diane too. Your baths are great machines. But listen, I mean, you got 30 years out of her. You got 30 years the motherboard went. Oh. And Janome is a good brand too. I think the biggest issue is, it's like with a lot of things. It's like our cars. It's like our refrigerators, right? I used to work for the company that makes a lot of refrigerators, light bulb company. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, at some point, the business, I mean, yeah, they're there for innovation, but you know what they're there for? What they saw they could make money on is service. So yeah, we can make something that lasts 30 years, but how are we gonna make money on that? So that's part of it. I feel like these machines, I remember I bought a serger and I had it for like a week and I forgot to, I missed a pin. And so the serger thing went to go over the pin and the whole thing bent. And I was like, my serger that I have, my original serger that's all thin, that thing would just slice through a pin and just keep moving. Luckily it happened early on, and so I was able to take the serger back. But it was like, it's like some metal alloy that's just not that strong, and it bent. It's crazy. So things just aren't made the same. That's the problem. You drag your sewing machine to everywhere, yeah. It really is. It's like, I don't know. Those of us that when you love it, you love it. Pete, yes, I love quilting cotton for clothing. That's why retro print. Yes. I've always been a natural fiber kind of person. I've just really in the last 10 years gotten into these ITY knits and stuff. They do make fun prints, but my preference is always a natural, breathable fiber. But man, wrap dresses look great in ITY knits. They really do. I thought the new look would be, okay, I read that one from Maryland. Tilly and the Buttons has something similar. Yeah, and so does Fiber Moon. Fiber Moon, I have the Fiber Moon issue that has something very similar. Not the same, but similar. And the one where it has that sleeve is actually a knit. So I like this that it was a woven. I'm going to give that a try. Yeah, the coupon won't work. I have no idea if Joanne carried Liberty. Yeah, Joanne's used to actually carry a lot of the quilters cotton fabrics for a little while. And then there was a revolt from the small independent quilt shop owners, rightfully so. Because what does Joanne's do? You get a 40% off coupon. They would put every independent quilt company out of business. And so I was actually really quite glad to see that they really banded together and they let those quilt cotton companies know that you do that and we're not buying. And they stopped. And so every once in a while you'll see at Hobby Lobby or Joann's in their calico knits, you might see something. And they did some licensing with some fabric designers for a little bit, but basically they were licensing the design, but it's not the same fabric. The quality of the fabric is quite different. I can see it, but you can definitely feel it. You can feel it. It has almost a more kind of fuzzy texture already before you washed it. And these quilters cottons, you can wash them 50 times. They don't fade. They look the same. And so I was really glad to see, because they really would have put a lot of quilters, cotton companies out of business. Now we have to compete with online giants who sell the same fabric and do the big deals. But, you know, such is life. Yes, fabric is getting expensive. Base cotton is getting quite expensive. Importing it is getting quite expensive. Low cost manufacturing companies are not as low cost as they used to be, right? Like, this is why, like, 2 decades ago, Sheree didn't like this. And now Sheree's like, okay, you can't change it, so you gotta ride with it. Brenda Lindsay was here listening but cooking dinner from Montana. My husband just got back from Montana and now we want to buy a ranch. Oh my God. He had a work, they had a board meeting out and they did it, you know, in Montana. And oh my gosh, the pictures that he was sending us. And one of the board members, they're actually from France and they live in Florida full time, but they actually bought a ranch. And they have like a ranch hand that, you know, does everything. It's like a 130-acre ranch. And they have their house there that they go and they stay in for 3 months of the year. But the ranch hand and his family take care of everything. So I was Google searching small ranches in Montana. My husband's like, no, we're not buying this for, like, it's for an investment. We're not looking for 2 acres. Like, what are you doing? And I also would be afraid of the bears. Oh my gosh, I would be so afraid of the bears. But beautiful. So that's on our list for upcoming year for a family vacation. It was absolutely breathtaking. Yeah. Janome. What is Janine? I don't think Juki is a Janome in disguise. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm sure it probably depends on some of their models. I have a quite high-end one and mine is great. I love it. But it depends on what you're buying. It depends on where you're buying it from. And it depends, quite frankly, on when you bought it, because some of these companies are like merging and taking over. So yeah, like Janome may have bought Juki at this point. But when I got my machine, they were 2 separate companies for sure. Hand sewing and listening. Yeah, I don't want to mess up my good machine. Especially nowadays with like how hard it is to get stuff fixed and to get parts. I don't want to put anything in it. I have this like thick vinyl that I want to sew up for a project outside. And I'm like, I'm not using my good machine for that. So I'm going to use one of these lower end ones and go with it. Am I missing anyone? McCall's had a sale. Hi, Roxanne from New Jersey. Thanks for joining us. Tanya Janome. I have one of my surgeries is a Janome, but I've never had a Janome sewing machine. I'm the same way. Okay, let me scroll down. Hey, Miss Debbie, thanks for joining us. Hi, Yolanda, Moving Mountains. Alice, I think we talked already. Yolanda, we talked. Tony Green. See, Tony, that's what I'm saying. These are those kind of live streams. Like, this is what I do when I'm in my sewing room. I'll put on like a live chat from either sewing or gardening channel that that I follow. They have no idea I'm in there supporting them. It's like sometimes I don't say hi because then once you say hi, there's like all these people saying hi back. And then I feel rude that I'm, not seeing their comments. So I just stay quiet a lot of times. So I get it. Melinda from Utah, another place I've never been. Florian, my husband was in, it was either Billings or Bozeman. No, it wasn't Bozeman for sure. It wasn't Bozeman. I have to ask him. I have pictures. you know, his secretary sends me his itinerary. I never look at it. I don't know where he was. All I know is I got to sew in the evening because he was gone. Very cold in the winters, yes. I have a cousin that lived there in Adult Life. She's a nurse on a reservation. We started watching a TV show that is takes place in Montana, Yellowstone. It's a lot. I didn't realize that it would be like, you know, so much like killing and stuff in there. But again, beautiful like scenery and all that. Very interesting storyline. We just finished season 1. It's like, for me, it's like an emotional show to watch. It's like a lot. I thought it was just gonna be like homesteading and it's a lot. But very good show. I think with Harrison Ford. Is that who's in it? I can't remember. Hi, Ava. Nice to see you in here. Thanks for joining. Melinda, hi. And I sent hi to you guys. Yeah, one live chat. We'll have to talk about our sewing machines. But anyway, let me get to this giveaway. Oh my gosh, I've been on here for 100 minutes. Okay, guys, this was supposed to be a test, and it's turned into like a whole thing. That's my problem. I talk too much. All right, it's giveaway time. Now, in order to enter this giveaway, well, let me show you what you're gonna get first. I'm gonna give one person their choice. You can get up to 2 yards. So you can get a half yard of all 4 colorways, like if you're a quilter. I feel like this would make a really cute set. Kevin Costner, that's who it is, yes. I feel like this, and I think I'm gonna sew this. We're like a cloth napkin house, you know, trying to not like be wasteful with non-renewable resources. And so I make cloth napkins all the time. And usually like once every couple years, like I refresh the set. And they're always like some shade of yellow to coordinate with my kitchen. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and make, because I love echinacea. I love echinacea. So I think I'm gonna make us a set of 4 napkins. I like making napkins when they're like coordinated, but each print is different, because then everybody can have their own print. So that's, like, if you guys want to sew up napkins for your family or as gifts, see if you're doing like a set of 6, see if you can find 6 fabrics that coordinate, but they are a little bit different. So in our house, like, we have our napkins. Now, we do have some sets that are all the same, like for when company comes and stuff, but I have several sets where that print is my print. And, you know, that way, I just, you know, because when the kids are sick, and it's like, you know, I don't want to accidentally use it. And so, and especially nowadays, right? Like, you don't want to like accidentally use someone else's napkins. I got the idea because my mother-in-law, she uses the same napkins, but we all have our own napkin ring. So when we go to Germany to visit, you know, my husband and the kids, they actually have them where she, you know, like the silver ones where their name is engraved. And then I have a certain one that's always mine. And so we put our napkin rings on our napkins so that we know, right, whose napkin that is. But anyway, let's get back to the giveaway. Sheree, focus. But the winner of this giveaway, you'll get up to 2 yards. So you can get a half a yard of 4 different prints. You can get 2 yards of 1 print. Any combination you want of these. Well, these are the 4 colorways that I still have. I have some other colorways getting restocked soon, but these are the 4 that I have right now. Okay? This is the one that I made that purple dress with. This is the one that I'm like, I think I'm gonna make something. I think I'm gonna make myself an echinacea shirt. I really do. I'm gonna make I think about it, an echinacea shirt with like a hot pink pencil skirt. I mean, it could be kind of cute. That's what I'm thinking about, y'all. I love that print so much. But anyway, that's what you're going to win. So now, pay attention. Make sure you're on live chat. Make sure you click that live chat button. I'm going to ask a question. And I I mentioned this in a couple videos. And so I know that a lot of you that are in here have watched the videos because I saw your comments. And so I don't think this is too hard. The winner will be the first person that I see, right? I'm on my live chat. So the first person that I see put in the answer is going to win. And if you win, you have to email me. I don't have your email address, right? So you have to email me at shereesalchemy@gmail.com. And my email is in my About page. Some of you are asking for my Etsy store. It's in my About page. I have all those links in there. I should probably be better and just keep those in my description. But again, I don't know. I don't like over promote things. It's there if you want to find it. But my email is definitely there. And yeah, it's my channel name, Sheree's Alchemy, all together at gmail.com. Okay? And so here's the question. Get ready. Then I'm going to say hi to everyone that came in after before I leave. In my videos, a couple of times I've mentioned recently that I've just gone through a big life change. Something has happened with my family. What is it? That's right, Diane, empty nester. We're empty nesters. My son went to college. I miss him. And he's not responding to my text messages very much. But I did get to talk to him last week after New Student Week. And he sounded so happy. And like, I wept. I wept like a child. But it was like, I was so overjoyed that he was happy, right? It's like, what a decision that is, right? When you finally decide, and he struggled a little bit with like which school is going to be the right school. And I kept telling him, any school you got into is a school that's going to be good for you because they accepted you, because they saw you. Now it's up to you to decide, right, the kind of environment you want to be in. So in saying that, it put a lot of pressure on him, which was not my intention, but I think he kind of felt like, oh my gosh, what if I made a bad choice? And as soon as we pulled up on the campus, we pulled up in front of his dorm and let him out. And they had all these students out, like helping the kids move in and stuff. And he's like, okay, Mom, I'll go and like do my check-in so I can get my key while you look for somewhere to park. And like, as soon as he walked across the road, this kid said hi to him, and he'd recognized him from when we lived in Michigan. My kids actually went to a boarding school that was like 2 hours away from where we lived in Michigan. It was their choice. They really wanted to go to this school, and because of the distance, they needed to board there. And my daughter ended up graduating from there, but we pulled my son here because I didn't want him that far away for school. There was a lot of reasons, and look what happened, right? But anyway, one of her friends recognized him, right? Because everybody knew Leah's little brother. And he's like, Lucas, and he's looking. I don't think my son like really recognized him, but I was like, wow. Because I kept telling him, like, you're going to see someone from your school here. You're going to see someone from, your old school, because both of those schools are kind of like, there's always a handful of kids that go to the school that he chose. And I think you could just see kind of his like shoulders drop, like, well, if they're here, it can't be a bad place. And then he was just like off and running. So it was so great to talk to him and just I could hear how like excited he was. And he was like going to all the new student activities. And like, at some point I texted him and he's like, I can't talk now, Mom, I'm at an event. And I'm like, oh, he's like actually like not just in his room feeling nervous. And so anyway, I'm an empty nester now. My boo-boo is gone. But I hope to see him. they have family weekend coming up in October, but his birthday is at the end of September. So I'm hoping that he'll let us drive down and visit with him for his birthday. He probably won't, but at least hopefully we can FaceTime and like see his little face. See his face. I miss him. He's my bookie. But anyway, congratulations to Diane. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are seeing people that are close to you in your cities. That's kind of fun. You guys all see it. Thanks for joining, Linda. Linda Fancier says it's her first live. It's my first live on this channel, so thank you for joining. I think it's the third live that I ever did, and the first two I did on my garden, it was like, they were out of control. I was like rambling on. It was so funny. All right, so congratulations, Diane. Email me at shereesalchemy@gmail.com. I'll be back live again. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow, and then Sunday I'm going to go live to do the live giveaways for these giveaways that already ended. And if I go live again tomorrow, I'm going to have another on the spot giveaway for you guys, okay? And then, yeah, I think tomorrow I'm going to try to go live because I need to test out the StreamYard live giveaway thing. So we'll practice that and we'll do a live giveaway tomorrow. I'll decide the time like tonight or early tomorrow, and I'll schedule it again. So hopefully it'll pop up in your feed, and I'll share it on the community tab in case it doesn't. So hopefully that pops up on your feed and you don't miss it, okay? Diane was quick, she was. And I was feeling like, is this too hard a question? But I'm like, I've talked about it, but you don't pay attention to like every little detail. So it seems like it wasn't that hard because it's like, everybody got it. So tomorrow I have to think of a harder question. See, you guys are paying close attention. I got to get something a little bit more challenging. I'm going to just say a quick hi to folks that I didn't see, and then I'm going to run. Hubs and I are going to have empty nester dinner tonight. Watch a movie. I was going to cook, but I decided there's a really good, like, handmade pizza place not far from us, like a little mom and pop thing. So I think that's what we're going to actually, I haven't had pizza in forever. And I think we're going to have pizza, and we're either going to watch a movie or we'll start episode 2 of Yellowstone. And I see answers still coming in. I think some of you guys are delayed. One thing I want to share with you guys, which again took me forever to learn. I'm going to try to show it on my phone. But see here, can you see here? If you, there's a thing up here, see that red dot that says live? If you click on your screen and you click that, it'll catch you up in the live. So like say if you came into the live like 5 minutes after I started, you're going to be like a 5-minute lag. So when I give the giveaway, like you have no chance of winning because you're behind. So make sure you're always like live and caught up, and you have to tap your screen for that to come up and make sure you're live. If you're not live, it'll say like minus 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, because I hate for you guys to like, you're here and you're in the live and you're waiting. That still happens to me. Like I entered the giveaway on one of my gardening friends channels, and I didn't realize I was behind by like 2 minutes. And so I had said the answer, but the time had run out, and I was like, why she said nobody won? And then she's like, well, Sheree, it's too late. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm behind in the live chat. So don't let that happen to you, okay? Make sure you're live, and if you watch the replay, yeah, you can't win, but you can win in the videos. Every video that I put up this month, you put in Happy National Sewing Month in your comments, and you'll be in the drawing for the sewing machine. Okay, guys, I'm gonna say good night to y'all. I see Alberta. Diane, don't forget to email me. Ruby Jenkins, hi, I'm glad you caught me. Maisha, hello. I'm just trying to say hi to people that I may have missed. Oh my, Jerry's, you know, Jerry Seinfeld show, that's one show I think my husband and I have watched from like episode 1 all the way through 3 times. It's like, it's timeless. I mean, you can just, you can never get sick of seeing Elaine dance, right? We love that show. They don't make those great comedies like that anymore. Linda Fansler, I don't think I said hi to you yet. All of you guys who got the right answer, thank you for watching my videos. That's one thing I told my husband, it's like a lot of content creators, they're like into the like subscriber number. And this, again, is fine. This is not like a judgment of anybody. For me, from the very beginning, I never was like, I want to have a certain subscriber number. Because I feel like for me, like you don't really control like if people are going to hit the subscribe button or if like something goes viral and you get a bunch of subscribers, right? But my most important, I call it CTQ, it's like old like corporate talk, but it's like critical to quality, like what I know, what I feel like, okay, I'm on the right track, is watch hours. Because to me, it's like, if you're watching like at least half of my video, that means that there was something in there like interesting to watch. And that's what I saw from the very beginning, and has been the biggest difference between this channel and my gardening channel. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but like the sewing people, like what they watch my videos. I'm just like, oh my God, they watch my videos. So for me on this channel, like I had already surpassed, like, you know, with YouTube monetization, I had surpassed the watch hours way before I had 1,000 subscribers. And it's usually the reverse. And so when I saw that, that's when I knew, and that's why I didn't get caught up on stuff on my gardening channel, because I'm like, I have no idea why that happened. Like I have no control over that. And so it was like a great lesson for me, and that's why I never, you know, I do like, oh, like, comment, subscribe, kind of because they say you're supposed to. But it's like 67% of my watch hours come from people who aren't subscribed to my channel. And I appreciate them watching my video, because that is like a sign to me that I'm putting out something that's interesting. Because everything I put out, I'm going to do anyway. But it's like, if I'm going to like take the effort to record it and edit it and upload it, like my last video literally took all day to upload. Like I kept having to go back to the computer and make sure it didn't go to sleep. And like, if I'm going to take that time to do that, I want to make sure it's actually something that someone wants to watch. And so I don't know why, but I appreciate you guys so much for watching. It's just, yeah, I love it here. I really appreciate you guys. So anyway, I'm going to go. It's like starting to get a little dusky outside. I've kept you guys long enough. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys back here tomorrow. I promise to be short tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to pop on just to test the giveaway. I might show you a couple more patterns. I might. But really just to test that giveaway and make sure it works, okay? All right, guys. Bye. Bye, Miss Debbie. Jay Mannon, it's great to see you. Lisa, good night. You guys, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, Roxanne. Peaches, hey. Hey, Kitty T. Well, I think I talked to you already, yeah. Audrey Bell, hi. I think I caught everyone else. If I didn't address you personally, I'm sorry I missed you, but I will go back and read, and I have a lot of comments on the videos to address. So I'll see you guys in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye. Diane, email me.